Hello everyone, how you doing? I'm just thinking about a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, look at all this road construction here. That's what you do in your state's like 30 billion in the hole, whatever the hell it is. Hey, you fix the roads. What better way to put people to work, right? Shovel ready. That's what we used to hear from Obama. Shovel ready jobs. When the road's fixed, you're out of work again. I mean, think about it. Look at this. I mean, look what they're doing. They're going to concrete the whole side of the mountain, it looks like. I mean, this is crazy amount of, like, I don't know, a couple $100 million project. Goes for like 20 miles here on 580. Pleasanton, Livermore. Well, anyhow, there's really no agenda for this video. I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit. I got lots of things on my mind. I look at a lot of stuff, jump back and forth from financial stuff to ancient history to philosophy, conspiracy type stuff. I mean, I just look at a lot of different stuff. Looking at some 9/11 stuff recently. I mean, I don't understand how anyone can buy the official 9/11 story. The steel structures of those 210-story buildings were built like a web. They were designed for planes to hit them. And I don't see how that jet fuel could have melted all the steel. And then they crumbled at free fall speed. And you can see in some videos a bunch of little explosions, like the floors were being collapsed. In a planned demolition, just like Building 7. Why did they? There's a, what's his name? I can't remember. The one guy who bought into the Trade Center just before it went down. Can't think of his name. There's a clip of him saying that they said to pull it, so they decided to pull the building. Okay, so you're gonna have a team rush in and set up all the explosives and pull it within like 7 hours. There's like 40-something story building. You can't just pull it. I mean, it takes days to set that up. So that whole thing, that was when I started waking up. That whole 9/11 thing, that just didn't make sense. None of it. All the stuff that went on around it. And I knew something fishy was going on. And I've been learning more fishiness ever since. I mean, I don't know how people just take the official story on that. But, and then you look at the Pentagon. I mean, come on, everybody. There's no plane flew into the Pentagon. There's no video of it. Where'd the wings go in? There's just a little hole. That's all that hit the Pentagon. There's a hole. And so, and then we have the $20 bill folded up to show the towers burning and the Pentagon on the other side. That's kind of creepy right there. I mean, putting these things on our currency ahead of time. I mean, that's just kind of like mocking us. The evil that rules the world is just mocking us by putting what they're going to do, kind of like on guard. Back in the day when you were given a tip off that you were going to be stabbed until you put up your sword, on guard. Well, they still go by that these days. Lindsey Williams talks about the rules that they go by, and they believe they have to show you things ahead of time. Something I recently saw, which I couldn't believe, was in the Back to the Future movie. The part where he goes and meets Doc in the parking lot and at the mall there, and it's called the Twin Pines Mall. And then in the end of the movie, he goes back early because he gets shot. Doc gets shot, so he goes back early so that he can warn him, or stop him from getting shot. And he runs by the name of the mall And it's the Lone Pine Mall. Why they changed the name of the mall is beyond me. That just totally blew me away when I saw that recently. I had never seen that, and it's the time on the clock on the, on the name of the mall when it's the Twin Pines Mall is I think 11/9 or I don't know. You flip it upside down, it's 911. But just I'm sure you've seen some of the other foreshadowings of that event in other movies, but I'd never seen it in Back to the Future. So that was pretty eye-opening recently. And if you're not aware, on the $50 bill appears to be the Hoover Dam. And then on some newer version of the $50 bill, it looks like the dam broke and the water's coming over. So that's something else I've been looking at. The Hoover Dam's got some really crazy stuff. If you want to do some Google searches on that, it's got some like alien type stuff there at the dam itself, a bunch of symbology. And the Denver airport, if you never checked out the Denver airport, you really got to check out the Denver airport. It's extremely interesting to look at what's going on there. So I don't know, everyone. I think about a lot of stuff. Don't really have anybody to talk to about all these things I think about. I've been studying Santos Bonacci's work a lot. Some of the stuff that he covers is just mind-blowing. It makes a lot of sense too. And Jordan Maxwell, I enjoy listening to. So anyhow, just wanted to talk about some things that are on my mind. I also been listening to a lot of Eustace Mullins. Incredible historian. Lived in the Library of Congress. Was the only person, I think, fired from there. One of the only people fired from the Library of Congress. He was a protege of Ezra Pound, who was the mentor of, I think, 4 or 5 Nobel Prize authors, like Ernest Hemingway and some other guys. He was held in St. Elizabeth's for treason, 13 years, and never given a trial. And Ezra got him out of there. Eustace got him out of there. But Eustace Mullins wrote the history on the Federal Reserve, if you're not aware of him. Eustace Mullins. He just died a couple of years ago. He did some incredible research in the Library of Congress with actual court papers and actual stuff that's filed there that no one ever unearthed. He wrote the history on the Federal Reserve back in 1948. There was no history on it. Ezra had been studying it for 30 years, since 1913, and he commissioned him to write the history on it. And so he did that. And then all books that have been written on the Federal Reserve since have used his book. He said that G. Edward Griffin took a lot of his book and wrote the Creature from Jekyll Island. Because he hadn't, there hadn't been any information. He unearthed so much information, so everyone's used his information. But he's written other books on murder by injection. How they don't want natural remedies to get out. If there are natural remedies, because then that would hurt the whole medical pill-popping industry. And he wrote The World Order. So anyhow, really interesting stuff there if you never checked that out before. So I guess that's about it. I've been getting kind of long here in the discussion, but I thought maybe I'd ask you guys, and if you're still with me at this point, I can tell by the comments if you're still with me. I wanted you to put down a few of your favorite teachers, people that you've learned from, that kind of opened your eyes up some more. Maybe if you could list your top 5 Just off the top of my head right now, if I had to think about it. Well, hold on a second. Got a call here. Okay, the wife was wondering where the hell I am. A little late getting home from work. It's almost 8 o'clock. But I work late anyhow. I usually get home about a half hour before now. So, anyhow, I was hoping maybe you'd put down your 5 favorite teachers that you like to go to and learn from. I mean, Eustace Mullins has been gone a couple years, but I still like to go listen. That's what I love about the internet. I can go listen to his older interviews. So I'd say probably, Peter Schiff was one of the first guys to start opening up my eyes to the whole financial system. And I enjoy listening to Ron Paul. He knows a lot about what's going on with the financial system. But besides Peter Schiff and Ron Paul, I like listening to Jordan Maxwell and Santos Bonacci and David Icke a little bit, not so much. But I've learned a lot from those guys. I mean, they get a lot of criticism, whatever, but I've done research on things that they've said, and I don't know, everything just kind of syncretizes. There's a syncretism going on, and everything's connected. There's an evil force that runs the world, and it's hard to see if you're in the matrix and you're just going about your normal television programming and sports and not willing to look at what's really going on. But I don't know, there's some type of consciousness battle happening that we're all a part of, and I don't know, it's kind of scary sometimes, especially thinking about going back into war again. But that's it for now, everybody.